Bad dreams, nightmares. Don't we have many of them? Well, it's funny also how it doesn't have to be like violent, or when you have to deal with a narcissist, the nightmares, the bad dreams that you have about them, they're not bloody or violent, or no, they're just exactly how the relationship with them is. It's sleazy. It's feelings. For example, I woke up in sweat one day, and my heart was going boom, boom, boom. And what was the nightmare? Really? Well, I've had really bad nightmares, I mean violent nightmares, but this, it was just about a feeling. So in my nightmare, I was sleeping, and I could hear her footsteps going up and down the house. This was my nightmare. Can you believe it? Just to listen to her walking up and down, because I have been so many times in this situation where her walking up and down, knowing that she's looking for something to start a fight, feeling it from her body language, from the way she would hit the pencil or paper or anything on the table, knowing that the anger was simmering in her and that it would come out. Having been so many times in this situation, the simple dream of me sleeping and her walking, hearing her footsteps next to me walking up and down, was a nightmare. So I started writing down all these dreams, these strange dreams, but because they concerned my mother, they were nightmares. And I remembered when I was a kid, I had for about, I think it was up to the age of 12, that's about the period that I was sent to boarding school after. After that they stopped. But when I was living with her, I had this horrible dream. It was not horrible. Wait, let me explain to you. My mother has a twin sister, and her twin sister, identical twins, and her twin sister was just as horrible as she was, even worse. Okay, even worse. She was a real, what do you call, a real bitch. If I could label them at that period, not now, but at that period when I was younger, overt and covert narcissist. My mother was a covert, she was an overt. I mean, it was like she couldn't control her mouth. Bitchy stuff was coming out of it constantly. So anyway, in the dream, I was next to a huge Olympic swimming pool, kind of. It was like a big aquarium, Olympic size. Like a Olympic size swimming pool size, I mean. And so we were up, like you're in a swimming pool, you know, you're not behind the aquarium where you see it behind the glass. We were on top, so around it, walking around it, and you could see in this big, huge swimming pool, it was full of all the, what at that age, when I was younger, thought monsters of the sea. It was a giant octopus, sharks, not even seas, it was water monsters. There were even crocodiles, piranhas, everything. Big long weeds which I seaweeds, which I used to hate, and not when we were kids we were all afraid of them, you know, and jellyfish, just full of them everywhere. And I was with my aunt and my mother, and we were on the side of it and watching inside and looking at all these species. And suddenly I fall in, and I'm totally freaking out. When I was younger, we didn't really have the sea. I mean, only in the summer 1 month, and I was really afraid of the sea. I was afraid even of crabs. Oh, there were giant crabs in there too, yeah. And so I fall in there, and I freak out. I turn around quickly and want to go out. And outside, on the side of the pool, I have both my mother and my aunt, who are identical twins, looking at me and smiling, and they are giving me the hand to help me out. Only at that moment I know in my head that one of them is going to pull me out, and the other one pushed me in, actually, because somebody pushed me in the swimming pool. And they're both smiling, and I don't know which one to trust. And I don't know which hand to grab to get out. So I'm like freaking out in the pool with all these monsters, sea monsters and water monsters behind me. But I'm afraid of trusting. I am in the dilemma of who am I gonna trust and give my hand out to. And this is how it stops all the time. And I had over and over for many years this dream, which I realized it just happened that my mother and my aunt were twins. In my dream, I think my dream was trying to show me that the person that I have as a mother, I mean, is one day bad, one day nice, and I don't know when it's gonna be which of the two personalities that she has. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know, thing. Yeah. Horrible, horrible. I used to wake up crying from these nightmares. I couldn't explain them then, but now it's like so obvious, you know, the feelings of growing up with a mother who's like, with whom you're constantly walking on eggshells around them, and you don't know how they're going to be today. What mood is she going to be in? She's going to be smiling or screaming, nice, compassionate, or aggressive. You don't know. You never know. So yes, the dreams we're having are really interesting to analyze. That's all.